I'm Mary Smith. I'm the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for Academic Planning and Policy at the Coordinating Board, and I want to thank you again for your participation in this special event. We'll be honoring our colleagues who are taking education in Texas to the next level by helping our students, our communities, and our state move forward in achieving our education goals. To begin our formal program, it's my pleasure to give you some background on the Texas Higher Education Star Award. I then will introduce each of our 8 2017 Star Award finalists. As most of you know, the Star Award was originally established by the Coordinating Board in 2001 to recognize exceptional contributions toward achieving one or more of the goals of our former higher education plan, Closing the Gaps, which brought us from 2000 to 2015. Given the success of the Star Awards program, the Coordinating Board voted to continue the program, but with revised guidelines to recognize the exceptional contributions towards achieving one or more of the goals of our new Texas Higher Education Plan, 60 by 30 Tex. As Mr. Jenkins said this morning, this is the second year of the ceremony that will be honoring those efforts that are being made toward achieving the goals of our new plan. Each year, nominations and subsequent applications for the Star Award are accepted by the Coordinating Board from eligible institutions and organizations across Texas. After an initial review by a 14-member internal review committee made up of Coordinating Board staff leaders, a select group of applicants are recommended as finalists. An external review committee that is made up of 3 members of the Coordinating Board, 3 business and community leaders in Texas, and 3 out-of-state higher education experts review the finalist applications and determine which of the finalists will be honored with the Star Award on the basis of the criteria that have been established for that year. We received 44 nominations and 41 applications for the 2017 Star Award, and 8 of those applicants were chosen as finalists by the Coordinating Board's internal staff committee. The 8 finalists' applications were reviewed by the 9 members of the external review committee who agreed together on the winners. I want to make the point that the finalists are all winners, because all 8 are really helping our students in our state move forward in our educational goals. Many thanks to each and every one of you for what you do every day. I also want to thank the Coordinating Board staff who helped review the 2017 Star Award applications, and our outside reviewers for their help with the Star Award finalist review process. Please do look at our Star Awards website on our Coordinating Board website for more details and information about our previous Star Award winners and finalists. And now it is my honor to introduce our 8 finalists. As I introduce each finalist, I will invite a representative to the stage to provide an overview of the program. Following their short presentation, the finalist representatives will rejoin their team at their table and stand with their team to receive their finalist certificate and be recognized for their excellent work. Each presentation is expected to last no longer than 4 minutes so that we all have time to learn about each team's program. Our first Star Award finalist is Austin Community College District for their Accelerated Programmer Training Program. It's my pleasure to invite Ms. Linda Smarzik, Dean of Computer Science and Information Technology, to come forward and tell us a little about this program.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank, because I only have 4 minutes, Dr. Richard Rhodes, our president, for being here, senior administration. I want to thank the Board of Trustees, several of them are here, and of course the team who represents the Accelerated Programmer Training Program. So this Accelerated Programmer Training Program is a competency-based distance learning program in the area of, as you probably guess, computer programming. And with this program, our distance learning previous to this just really needed some assistance. And so we were able to, with the DOL, Department of Labor TAG grant, we were able to take the money that they provided us and to build a team, a really incredible team, many of who are sitting down here, to affect change for our students. We were hearing that our students really needed to be able to move through our programming classes faster, because it takes an average of a few years for them to be able to move through a degree or certificate. We wanted to be able to assist these students to be able to move through much quicker. So with this, we had a little bit of money from DOL. We were in a consortium with 2 other colleges, one of them being Sinclair Community College and Broward Community College. We also had WGU, Western Governors University, being our mentors, and they were incredible as they worked with us to let us know what is competency-based education. And with the CBE, we learned CBE is to be able to remove the seat time that a student actually goes through their school, and actually instead provide the time to actually being able to complete a competency. So with this, they're able to accelerate. What we did with this is we were able to provide 4 courses, a Marketable Skills Award, which we now call an Occupational Skills Award, provide them 4 courses, and with that build into certificates. All of this is CBE, and then build into a degree. And with this degree, we just are now working with another grant, South Texas College, to be able to have our first 4-year fully distance learning competency-based education degree. Thank you, Coordinating Board, for that grant too. With this, one of my favorite stories comes from Dr. Rhodes. And he was at the airport, and he was talking to one of the, somebody who was serving him coffee. And the student recognized him and said, "Are you Dr. Rhodes?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, I will not be serving coffee next year." And he said, "Oh, do tell." And he said, "I am in the Accelerated Programmer Training Program, and I plan on being a programmer next year." And so this is one of my favorite stories, and some of the comments from the students at the bottom. And the results that have happened with this have been for us remarkable. In the year 2012-14, there were none of these 4 courses Marketable Skills Award. By the time we actually were able to have the grant and move through what we needed to move through, we were able to award almost 800 of these Marketable Skills Award. Of course, we know that when a student gets an award of some sort or a badge, they're able to progress. In 2012-13, 73 degree certificates were happening in the area of computer science. By the time we were moving through the grant, we were able to award 175 2-year degrees and certificates. One of the final pieces of this is that we were able to build women in IT from this. We know that there were about 23% of women in the area of technology and IT, and from this, we have found that women actually love coming through this particular type of modality, and we have increased substantially from about 25% in our area to where now there is a 51% degree completion rate for these students, for women students in this particular area. And I leave it with that. Did I get 4 minutes?
You did. You
Okay.
did very well. Thank you. Ms. Marvick, we appreciate your time. If you'll just rejoin your table, we'll be presenting you with a certificate, and you'll be taking a group picture with your team. Our second Star Award finalist is Coastal Bend College for their Pathways to Success for Students in Allied Health program. It's my pleasure to invite President Beatrice Espinoza to come forward.
Our submission is based on a problem that was identified early on by a couple faculty members. An LVN faculty member noticed that students were struggling in reading their textbooks and aligning meaning with their simulation and clinical work. Students in the LVN program take the TEAS test, not the TSI, as it is a one-year certificate program. Without the TSI reading score at college level, reading college-level textbooks becomes difficult. She made contact with an English faculty, and they got to work. So the solution was a new design, not more tutoring, not supplemental instruction, but a one-time 3-hour workshop titled Decoding Meaning in Allied Health, tailored to students in the LVN program. The workshop starts with an overview of language acquisition. Students are reminded that they decoded information without text and teachers as toddlers. As we all know, kids hear and repeat. They decoded language. That's when everything's natural. Then something happens. You get caught somewhere between the parrot principle and the zombie zone. So the task is to train the brain to go back to decode mode. In decode mode, you are motivated to learn, freely apply the learning while learning it, and benefit from truly understanding information in the long term, and in this case, for the use in the nursing profession. In decode mode, you naturally pull meaning from information. You do this by previewing, questioning, relating, annotating, mapping, summarizing, and teaching. In the workshop, an activity follows each of the decode modes, as each activity is related to their nursing material, using the textbook and applying the learning in simulations and practice, learning and remembering with a purpose. This simple 3-hour workshop helps students that are stuck in their old zombie practices and moves them to a motivated state of mind. They are now engaged learners, and the focus shifts from trying to memorize when tackling a chapter or several of them a night to reading for application. The English and LVN faculty are both in the workshop at the same time, so the delivery of the decoding messages are consistent in form and content. Students get to debrief and complete a survey after the workshop to share the lessons learned and any suggestions they have for the faculty going forward. A typical student comment is shared in our slides, and it reads, "I feel that this workshop helped me to learn to read my material in a way that I can learn and retain information." The results were clear for us. Success happens at CBC. We do not want the LVN program to be a dead end for students entering the nursing profession. Their gains become our gains. Their success in the LVN program has resulted in increased completion of awards and an increase in enrollments in the LVN to RN Bridge program. And when students complete the RN with us, they are already making plans for the BSN and MSN. They are passing their NCLEX, and jobs await them at each level that they gain a new credential. We have with us today 2 faculty that spearheaded the Nursing Pathways program, Contextualized Reading, LVN Nursing Intervention, Professor Kathy Kyler and Assistant Dean Luana Hernandez. Also with us is our Dean of Workforce Training, Julia Garcia, Executive Dean of Student Services, Lupe Ganceres, and our CBC Governing Board Chair, Laura Fisher. We thank the committee for selecting our nursing program, Contextualized Reading, LVN Nursing Intervention, as a finalist. Our contribution to the 60 by 30 plan is that more than 50% of our students are now over the age of 25, in the age group of the 25 to 34-year-old and beyond, getting degrees in nursing and entering the nursing profession. We are pleased to announce that this workshop has been so successful that faculty in English have now partnered with faculty in criminal justice, law enforcement, and welding to do more decoded meaning workshops. And the results are clear there too. We've seen success happen. A 3-hour workshop saves a student. On behalf of our team at CBC, we thank you.
Thank you, President Espinoza. She'll now rejoin her team and then have her team recognized for excellence through a certificate and a photograph. Our 3rd Star Award finalist is Odessa College for their 8-week terms, a pathway to 60 by 30 text program. It's my pleasure to invite President Greg Williams to come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Forgive my voice today, but we will begin with the video.
To achieve the overarching goal of 60 by 30 Texas, To have 60% of Texans aged 25 to 34 achieve a certificate or degree by 2030, colleges must develop new, more effective approaches to increase enrollment, retention, and the rate of progress toward a degree.
Well, 60 by 30 Texas is probably the most ambitious program that Texas higher education has ever undertaken. And what's incredibly exciting about Odessa College is that we found the formula to do that.
We started asking ourselves, is 16 weeks too long?
And so we started the conversation, or we continued the conversation about the length of the semester. And was there anything magical about 16 weeks? Or could that be better? Could there be a different structure?
And we knew we had already talked about the success of our students in summer courses and some of the other flex scheduling, and thought this might be the answer to help students persist.
The numbers are astounding. We've been doing the 8-week terms for 3 years, and we did 16-week semesters for 67 years. In the 3 years we've done 8-week terms, we've increased first-time in college students 20% over the very highest number we ever had in 16-week terms. It's astounding.
8-week terms allow for socioeconomically disadvantaged students to qualify for more federal financial aid. Rather than registering for one class per 16-week semester, part-time students can choose to register for one class per 8-week term, which allows them to be enrolled in 2 classes during the 16-week semester. As a result, the number of students who have qualified for federal financial aid since 2014 has increased by 16%. The amount of aid dispersed to a student has increased by 6.4%. And the total amount of federal aid dispersed by Odessa College has increased by 23.5%.
What we are seeing and what we have celebrated is that the number of students completing has increased many times over, such that we have approximately 108% increase since 2010 in the number of students that walk across our stage and complete with a credential at Odessa College.
At Odessa College, improvement in graduation numbers has continued for 6 straight years and is now almost 108% greater than in 2010, the year before Odessa College instituted its first program to improve student success, the Drop Rate Improvement Program. The transition to 8-week terms has been a major contributing factor in that remarkable growth and improvement, and continues to be one of the defining programs in Odessa College's continuing efforts to improve student success.
As I close today, again, forgive my voice. I'm glad we had a video prepared. We thank you all for having us. We thank the board for your work and for having an award such as this. We thank the entire Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board team for supporting us and allowing us to do this work. I'd like to thank the team of individuals that we have here from Odessa College. You noticed that they didn't put me in the video for some reason. It was a smart decision. Let me say this. The move to 8-week courses changed the way that we do business at Odessa College. And it also changes the relationship with the state of Texas. And I was able to call Dr. Paredes on the phone to ask him if he would support us in doing this. And his answer came to me within seconds. He said, Greg, if we can do anything to help students, then I'm supportive of it. This has been magnificent. It's game-changing. And if we are to reach the goals of 60 by 30 Texas, we're going to have to do more things like this. So again, thank you for having us. Thank you for all of your support, and congratulations to all of the other finalists.
Thank you, President Williams. And you're going to go in and join your team and get your certificate. Our 4th Star Award finalist is St. Philip's College for their Automotive Technology program. It's my pleasure to invite Mr. Chris Birdsall, Dean of Applied Science and Technology, to come forward.
Good afternoon. Boy, Odessa walks up here and step your game up with a video, huh? So, Before I get started, I want to thank the review committee for choosing St. Philip's College's automotive program as one of the 8 finalists this year. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for that. It wouldn't be possible without the team that came up here today. I'd like to introduce them, Mr. William Fuller, department chair and faculty. He pours his heart and soul into his craft, the program, and his students. Mr. Randall Dawson, interim VP of academic success, whose strong leadership helps us to continue on the path of success in the 60 by 30 goals. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Dina Williams-Lawson, the 14th president of St. Philip's College. She daily clears the path for us so we may do what we do and be up here and be honored for just really loving our job, loving our students, and doing what we can. So how did we get here? I-35 North. I couldn't help but take that dad joke, and so I ran with it. So how did we get here? First you need a little history lesson. St. Philip's College was established in 1898 as a sewing school for daughters and granddaughters. Daughters and granddaughters of former slaves under the 50-year leadership of Artemisia Bowden, who in 2015 was named a saint of the Episcopal Church. And under her leadership, we rapidly grew. In 1957, the automotive technology was added, and continuing the great tradition of teaching applied skills to our community. Today, the program includes 3 different AASs. You have the Specialized Ford Asset, the GM ASEP, and the General Automotive Technology. And from year to year, we enroll approximately 600 duplicated students. We also got here with the quality of our instruction, which is second to none. All of our instructors have ASE, or Automotive Service Excellent credentials. They're certified. 8 of the instructors have Master Technician status. This allows us to be accredited by the National Automotive Technicians Education Foundation, or NATEF. We got to this point by our community engagement, our strong community engagement. St. Philip's College students, faculty, and employees actively engage the community. We have continuously repaired vehicles for women unfortunately housed in the battered women's shelter, and we're in partnership with local parts stores in San Antonio. During an event called Car Fest each year, faculty and students spend the entire weekend repairing vehicles for free for other San Antonio families that are in need. All vehicle parts for this project are donated by area parts stores, dealerships, and repair facilities. Access to a working vehicle greatly impacts our families in San Antonio, and our students get the benefit to see what their volunteerism goes to and how it helps our community. The automotive technology program also designed, built a training vehicle for our wounded warriors who come back missing limbs. This training vehicle is housed at the Center for the Intrepid in San Antonio. This vehicle is used in training as a training aid for these wounded warriors as they're learning to adjust to life after a traumatic injury and losing a limb, and now they're relearning how to drive a vehicle. So our automotive program designed and built and donated this vehicle to the lost name. The Intrepid, the Center for Intrepid. Because of the support of the automotive industry and our community engagement, our students make contacts with future employers and gain access to automotive scholarships that support them in their academic pursuit. The San Antonio Auto Dealers Association grant, this is the organization that leads the CarFest efforts. They've donated to date $12,000 in scholarships. The community of automotive professionals has donated $40,000 in scholarships. And the Gunn Family Foundation Automotive Group grant has funded in total $76,000 in scholarships for our automotive students. Interest in our automotive program goes beyond that too. We know with the 60 by 30, there's more dual credit in, initiatives and interest. And we have 300 to 400 high school students that were on our campus just yesterday interested in our automotive program. The support from our senior leaders, our community, and dedication from our phenomenal faculty and staff have allowed us to achieve some of our goals, and they continue to allow us to chase even greater goals towards contributing to the 60 by 30. In the academic year 2014-15, 29 graduates earned an AAS, an Associate of Applied Science degree, and 89 completed the Level 1 certificate. In 2016 and 17, 28 earned AAS degrees, and 140 completed the Level 1 certificate. And you see also up there on the slides, we have 94% that are employed, self-employed, or continuing education. 86% in 2014-15 were employed, self-employed, or continuing education. And I did not yet have the 15-16 numbers to put up there, otherwise I would have. I also want to thank Dr. Bruce Leslie and our Board of Trustees who have made it here today. Dr. Leslie's over here, our Board of Trustees to my right, Mr. Roberto Zarate, Alicia Moreno, Mr. Sanchez, who I just met today, is new to our board, Mr. Sprague, and Associate Vice Chancellor Ruth Dar-Ripple, who's with us today. Without all of their efforts, the team that I mentioned earlier, we couldn't do this. We don't work in a silo. We can't have this success in a silo. And I thank all of them. I thank all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Birdsall. Our 5th Star Award finalist is the University of Texas at Dallas for their Undergraduate Success Scholar Program. It's my pleasure to invite Ms. Courtney Breacham, Associate Dean of Undergraduate Education, to come forward.
Thank you. I agree with St. Philip's that Odessa starting with the video, we didn't see that coming. For the record, if we had, I would be playing our student-made video that plays to Bruno Mars, and so I would have been very popular, for the record. Okay, I just want to put that out there. I too am a native Texan, so it'll be difficult to explain anything in under 4 minutes, but this will be my attempt, especially a program we're all very passionate about. Which is our Undergraduate Success Scholars Program. And I cheated as well and put the mission statement on the slide, which I will read just a little bit. At UT Dallas, we take a lot of pride in being a data-driven institution, so we continuously analyze our persistence and graduation rates. We break that down, obviously, by race and ethnicity and other key demographic factors. When doing that, back in 2014, when prompted by our wonderful UT system at a Student Success Summit, we realized that our persistence rate of URM students was about 30% lower after the junior to senior year than their white and Asian peers. Obviously, that was very concerning. So we created the Undergraduate Success Scholars Program because a commonality those students had was that they were coming into the institution non-scholarship and without a built-in student success team. So we chose to target those students. The mission of the USS program is cheating. We serve these students through engagement opportunities, academic support, mentorship, and guidance to meet both personal and professional goals. We aim to increase URM student enrollment, success, and retention, and that is how we hope to, and long-term, contribute to the Texas 60 by 30 completion rates. How we do this specifically in terms of our program structure is not a traditional guided pathways program for 4 years. The core components of this program that the students participate in each year include student success planning, which is done in a novel way online with the survey tool, in which prompts the student at the beginning of the semester to outline their goals and activities they hope to participate in that semester. At the conclusion of that semester at a workshop, while we have them captive in a testing center, we have them log back on, and the survey shows what they originally selected, what they said they were going to do that semester, and says, did you do this? If no, why not? So it prompts self-reflection that we then also reinforce in one-on-one meetings with the students, which are required as well, and monthly workshops and academic support services in activities like our Student Success Center, which is traditionally underutilized by our URM student population. So we have that as a program requirement. The students also organize their own events and activities outside of our workshops as well. The freshman year focuses on, at an institution like ours, academic acclimation, just to make sure that regardless of a level of college readiness, they are there and ready to be successful. We serve those students through a family mentorship initiative in which we pair the students in groups of 3 to 4 students with an assigned peer mentor and an assigned mentor liaison, which is a faculty, staff, alumni, or external community supporter. Those individuals really help the students build their social capital and their network across our campus. Our sophomore year really focuses on leadership development. Our junior year, we help the students evaluate specific long-term steps they need to complete. A lot of our students, more than 40%, are first generation, and if they're a 4.0 student, even though they're academically successful, they might not know they can go straight from an undergraduate degree into a PhD program. So we help them understand they need to be studying for the GRE, networking with tenure-track faculty, and the very helpful steps for those students. In the senior year, we make sure that they have a plan in place for either employment or continued education. So our keys to success are honestly creating a student sense of belonging at UT Dallas. It's really easy for for example, an African-American female to be in an organic chemistry class of 400 students and look around in the 50 students within her immediate radius and be the only African-American. So our program really gives those students a sense of belonging where they can not only socialize, but also get to know each other academically. We've created a culture on our campus of collaboration across academic and student affairs, and also our Office of Diversity, which has really built out kind of everyone mobilized towards these goals related to African American and Hispanic student graduation. Something we're very proud of, in that we have more than 50 of those mentor liaisons, faculty, staff, and community supporters mentoring our students. Self-efficacy is also a really important part of our program. We tell those students, because these students are about 200 points lower than an entering freshman, the average freshman SAT at our institution, we want to make sure that they understand we are treating them like everyone else. They're expected to earn a 3.0, take a full course load, and we'll help them balance that with their working and everything that else they have going on. We also continuously assess the program as well in a lot of ways, focus groups and surveys as well. So here are some of our outcomes. Again, we just started in 2014, but this is why we do what we do. Not just the cute faces at the bottom, okay, but for these outcomes as well. Our retention rates are very high, and sometimes success is relative with this population. In some programs, a student gets a 3.0, and we're like, come on, 3.0 to maintain your scholarship, gosh. But in this program, if you get a 3.0, sometimes that means we take you to lunch. So we make sure our students understand that we're contextualizing everything to their personal level. We too are very grateful to the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board for their consideration, and just in informal conversations with you guys, we're very privileged to be a part of this finalist group this year. I feel like it's very unique. I would also like to thank our university representatives, and if UT System or our Board of Regents are here too, I really appreciate it, and my team as well. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Buchan. Our sixth Star Award finalist is the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley for their 15 to grad tuition plan, advising and outreach to support 15-hour enrollment program. It's my pleasure to invite Ms. Kristen Croyle, Vice President for Student Success, to come forward.
Thank you.
She is right there.
Can't you know, the time's ticking, right? So good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to highlight our program and each of these excellent programs. It's always inspiring to hear about what our higher ed colleagues are working on, and I appreciate the contact phone numbers we got, because some of you will be getting calls from us to talk about your programs. We are excited to talk about our tuition plan. As many of you hopefully remember, we just started in 2015 as a new institution, which gave us the opportunity to reflect on practices more deeply than universities often have an opportunity to. So one of the things that we were reflecting on is, how do you build structures within the institution that support students in their task to stay on track and to graduate? And one of the structures that is most meaningful to students is the tuition plan. It guides them all the time about what they should be doing. At UTRGV, about 60% of our students are on Pell. So they get a consistent message, although it's a quiet message, that 12 hours is full-time enrollment, because that's what makes you Pell eligible. But we know that that's not going to keep them on track for four-year graduation. So how do you combat that message that 12 hours is really not enough? So we constructed a tuition and fee plan to encourage graduation in 4 years, also to reduce student debt, and at the same time we were also trying to demystify the student bill. So we packaged many of our fees, took away a lot of the fees that our previous institutions had and wrapped them into tuition, so the bill makes a lot more sense. But the key task was, how do you build a tuition structure that moves students along? So what we chose to do is, first, we have an innovative tuition plan. It's got 4-year guaranteed tuition. in order to help families plan with certainty. It also has free enrollment above 12 credit hours. UTRGV is a highly affordable institution, but unfortunately many of the families in our region, they read the national news and they hear about how unaffordable higher education is. There's that constant message, students can't afford, they'll graduate with tons of debt. Well, that's not the case for our students, so we continually try to combat that message, and saying things like, students can take a course for free every semester. It helps to combat that national message. We also packaged it with 4-year roadmaps for every degree. So you say the tuition plan says take 15 hours every semester because you get a free course above 12 hours. Then the degree plan solidifies that and says, here's your plan where you're taking 15 hours a semester, along with direct outreach to students from advisors, continually mentioning about how 15-hour enrollment gets them a free course. Very compelling for students. And then we also have a creative marketing plan that reaches students and families where and when they'll see it. So we had newspaper coverage so that our students' families who are reading local newspapers would see it with student quotes. That little image there is actually the landing page. When students go to enroll during our peak enrollment period, the landing page reminds them, take 15 hours. And after the peak enrollment period, but before the semester has started, we also send out targeted messages to students that are enrolled in 12 to 14 hours. So they're already full-time, saying, did you remember you can enroll another class for free? Do it today. You can get it for free while you still have time. So what have we seen from this? So when we open in fall 2015, in comparison to 2 years later, fall 2017, we've seen a 12.5% increase in students enrolling in 15 hours or more. We also took a look at how this was impacting our student retention and success, because there's always going to be some doubters in the background, right? Say, oh, I don't know, these poor students, they can't handle a full-time load. Well, of course, that's ridiculous. We want them to stay on track and graduate. That's what really supports them. So when we looked at students who were taking 12 hours or more, but not 15, the retention rate for students who are taking 15 hours in comparison to other full-time students who enrolled for less is 4% higher. Then we looked at the amount of money this is saving our students. So if you think about the students who enrolled in 15 hours or more in fall 15 versus in spring 2017, so that bump, how much did that bump of students save? That little bump of students saved approximately $2 million by taking an extra course, instead of putting the course off until another semester and having to pay for it out of pocket. And we estimate that this is saving our students, if they will continue on the 15 semester plan, saving them approximately $8,000. In addition, of course, to the post-graduation income that they start earning earlier if they're graduating earlier. Oh, I thought I had one more slide, but I don't. But I will say, one of the beauties of this is it's a restructuring of a plan. Everybody's got tuition and fee plans, but it's a restructuring with a mind towards encouraging graduation, which means the restructure actually has very little cost. The cost is in the marketing and making sure that the advisors are reaching out in a way that encourages that message. So again, thank you for the opportunity to recognize the program. We're hoping to see this impact in our 4-year graduation rates, which we should see in another 2 years.
Thank you, Ms. Croyle. Our 7th Star Award finalist is the University of Houston for their U of H in 4 program. As you see here, we're going to be seeing Dr. Paula Myrick Short, who is our Senior Vice Chancellor and Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost. And she's coming forward.
Well, thank you so much. We're very honored at the University of Houston to be a finalist for this wonderful competition, and with every presentation I kept thinking, oh my gosh, competition is tough. So congratulations to all of the other institutions that are represented here, and thank you for giving us a chance to share what we've been doing at the University of Houston. When students come to the University of Houston, we want them to have an exit plan. That's not because we want them to get out of the way and leave, but we want them to graduate on time and in 4 years. So an exit plan becomes very, very important. However, at the University of Houston, historically, our students have made slow and inefficient degree progress towards completing their degree. And this will sound familiar to many of you, but we deal with the same problems that many of you see. And that is that the time to complete the degree becomes elongated, can be as many as 6 years or more. We also note that our students, the average time to complete the degree can be elongated because they're taking unnecessary courses, so the credit hour accumulation towards a degree becomes excessive. And also, the accumulation of credit hours over an academic year is not where we'd like for it to be. It can be as little as 12 hours a semester or 24 hours an academic year. And if you do the math on that, you know that that's not going to lead to graduating in 4 years. So we were alarmed by those data. We're very data-driven at the University of Houston, and those data scared us and suggested to us that we had a lot of work to do. So alarmed with that data, but armed with what we call a no-excuse student success mandate, we launched in 2014 what we call UH-in-4. It's a partnership, and I think that's the beauty of what we're doing with UH-in-4. It's a partnership between the University of Houston, the institution, and our students. And it's to address the barriers that our students face in being able to complete a degree, a baccalaureate degree, in a 4-year period. It's consistent with the strategies outlined in the coordinating board's 60 by 30 Texas plan. It's a comprehensive, high-impact initiative to really recreate a culture on the campus that says we expect you to graduate in 4 years, and also to put the tools in place that allow students to be able to meet that goal. The centerpiece of UH-in-4 is our 4-year graduation plan. And this plan really is what the students of the university agree to, and they sign a commitment that they will do these things. It's a commitment that the student makes, and it's a commitment that the university makes to the student. And you see some of the things that are outlined in that graduation plan on the screen. For the students, we expect them to complete 30 semester credit hours over the year towards their degree. We expect them to remain in good academic standing, to meet with an advisor, and to select courses that count towards that degree that lead them to degree completion, among other things. The university's responsibilities include making sure the courses they need to graduate in 4 years are available. How interesting is that? We say we want you to graduate in 4 years, and yet students struggle to find the requisite courses that they need that they're available every semester when they need them. So that's a real challenge for us. But we're doing that. We've also developed 4-year academic maps for every degree. And those academic maps actually suggest a sequence of courses that need to be taken over an 8-semester plan of study, so the students know exactly what they're expected to do and what the roadmap looks like. We ensure that there's intrusive advising. We ensure that there are degree monitoring tools available not only to the advisor, but to the student. We provide coaching, we provide workshops, we provide training and student success strategies. So we really do create a support net for these students that commit in writing that they will complete their degree in 4 years through the UH-in-4 program. This program also gives the student access to our 4-year fixed tuition plan, something similar that you just heard about. that guarantees the same tuition rate to the student for 4 consecutive academic years. And we've done the math on that, and it can save our graduates up to $200,000 by graduating in 4 years rather than the traditional 6 years that many of our students have been doing. So what are the results of this plan that we put in place in 2014? Well, we have found out it's extremely popular. The first year that we introduced the plan, 49% of our first-time in college freshmen signed up for UH&4. We even have T-shirts that say UH&4. We have, all of the swag you can imagine that says UH&4 because students now identify that I am a UH&4 student. The participation has had a dramatic increase. In 2016, over 71% of our first-time in college freshmen at the University of Houston signed up to be a part of UH&4, and that number this year is even higher. So the participation rate has increased dramatically. But what's interesting is that the highest rate of participation increase is with our African American students. 75% of African Americans freshmen that enter the University of Houston participated in UH&4 in 2016. The data also tell us something about the effect of the program on student performance. One of the measures that we all know are important in terms of a timely degree completion is the number of credit hours accumulated over an academic year. And our data suggests that UH&4 students have been retained at a higher rate and have demonstrated superior academic performance and progress, more so than our non-UH&4 students. 71.3% of our 2014 cohort members completed 60 credit hours by the end of their second academic year at the University of Houston, and again, with the greatest successes seen with our African American students. When we looked at our 2015 cohort and examined the number of credit hours accumulated over an academic year, we saw a similar trend. 76.7% of the cohort completing 30 credit hours in the first academic year actually resulted in a 13% increase prior to the 3-year average prior to implementing UH&4. And we've seen a dramatic increase in our 4-year graduation rate. If our first cohort in UH&4, which is scheduled to graduate this May of 2018, stay on track, the projected 4-year graduation rate of 42% for the first graduating class is actually 12 percentage points higher than the year prior to UH&4 implementation. So we are extremely gratified that we're able to move the needle on something that's very, very difficult to do, and for which a tradition of you're going to take 6 years to finish, you're going to take 12 or less hours a semester because that's all you're able to do, that has changed completely. Our engineering students no longer think, well, I won't do well if I take more than 12 credit hours. Now they're taking 15, and they've jumped in totally engaged, totally believing that they can complete that baccalaureate degree in 4 years. Most importantly, though, what do our students at the University of Houston say about the program? Well, they tell us that it does this for them, that it helps them plan better. They tell us it helps them manage their time better. It helps them stay on track. And as one young lady said to me just a week ago, I don't worry about finances anymore. It's taken care of with the fixed 4-year tuition rate. So we're very, very proud of what we're doing at the University of Houston, and we appreciate the opportunity to share that with you today. And I also want to thank our regents that are here with us, Regent Paula Mendoza, Regent Neelish Matovia, and Regent Gerald McKelvey. I'm sorry. The list has changed since I started. And Deidre Garcia, who's here representing our Governmental Relations Office. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Margaret Court. Our 8th Star Award finalist is the University of Houston Downtown for the Gateway Course Innovation Initiative Program. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Gregory Dement, Director of the Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's really an honor to be here representing the faculty and staff that made this program a success. So I'm going to get right into the program. Our program is focused on improving student success in gateway courses. These are courses that are high enrollment, high attrition. They're taught by multiple instructors in their multiple sections. So it really takes a village. It takes a team dedicated to each one of these courses to make it a success. You can see from this timeline that the program spans almost 2 decades, going back to 2000, and what we've done through various grant programs is to add new strategies as we go to these courses, and we also added new target courses along the way, and now this is culminated in the Course Innovation Initiative within the CTLE. So that's the timeline, and what I really want to focus on is 2 main things about the program. One is the faculty collaboration that made this program a success, and then the specific types of course innovations that we did in the classroom. And I'll end with a little bit of outcome data. So our faculty support structure for this program is based in motivation theory. We use self-determination theory, and that outlines 3 basic human needs that contribute to intrinsic motivation. And so we satisfy this for our faculty in various ways. Relatedness is satisfied by facilitating conversations and putting faculty into course design teams. So they're really working together collectively to address these courses. We satisfy the need for competence, and that's really related to instructional design and course design by providing frameworks. So these frameworks are infused with evidence-based strategies within a structured model, and it really gives faculty something to hold on to and hit the ground running with. But what's really important is the autonomy piece. So within these models, they're flexible. They are models that are adaptable, and so faculty feel comfortable in adapting the model to their particular teaching style, and that has really helped us to maintain faculty buy-in and to keep the faculty engaged in this program. And they're really excited about being involved in these course redesign projects. And what we see with this is typically courses that are much more student-centered and active. This is illustrated here in an actual classroom. We've renovated classrooms to be less traditional and more active down here. Collaborative courses where students are sitting together in groups and working together to solve problems. Some of the specific strategies that were infused into these courses, we have enhanced academic support in supplemental instruction. So this is an embedded tutoring model where the students are in the class helping with active learning. We use technology to enhance the amount of time that students are on task, both outside of class and in class. And this also enhances our ability to give immediate feedback and quality feedback to students. And finally, just in general, those structured models I talked about, they're really inherently active. So the models are things like flipped classroom, team-based learning, problem-based learning, where students are really becoming active in the classroom. And what we see, briefly, are these results. So we're looking at ABC rates, or the C or better rate for the students. This is something that when we combine it with and reinforce it with common assessments, other types of assessments within the class that are across sections, we can ensure that this metric is really looking at student learning, which is what's important. So you can see we have a lot of target courses. This is a growing list of target courses as we continue the program. We typically see increases between 10 and 20% increases in passing rate for these courses. And just to look at one specific, college algebra, this is the one that has our longest history We moved up from 36% passing rate up to a 61% passing rate in fall of 2016. And I just want to begin closing with a specific piece of analysis that we did with UHD students. For our entering freshmen, if the group of students that is taking college algebra specifically gets an A, a B, or a C in the course on their first attempt, they're going to go on to graduate at a rate that's 4 times greater than those that didn't get an A or B or C in the course. And for English composition, it's even more pronounced. That they graduated a 6 times rate. So I just, with that, really want to emphasize that the work that the faculty and staff have done to improve student success in these courses is contributing directly to accomplishing the degree completion goal of the 60 by 30 Texas strategic plan. And for that, we're really excited to continue the program, and we're honored to be recognized as finalists for the STAR Award. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mann. That concludes the introduction of our finalists. We're just going to have a couple of more minutes here to make sure that Dr. DeMend and his team are recognized. And while they're getting their picture taken, Mr. Jenkins, I'm going to turn the program back over to you. Will you and your fellow board members step forward to announce our 2017 STAR Awards winners?
Great job, Mary. So let me just say this. I said this yesterday. I think that this awards luncheon, I think we all get a lot of opportunities to go to different luncheons where there's awards and such. But I can assure you, I leave this meeting, this luncheon, more inspired than any other one that I go to. I will tell you that the innovation, the creativity from all of the institutions, it really is fantastic and it's inspiring. And so to all of the finalists, it really is congratulations to each of you. I mean, I'm sure each of you learned from all of the other institutions and what they presented. Some incredible work is being done. And I want to also say, as a citizen of the state of Texas, thank you. Thank you very much for the great work that you're doing. It is very, very impactful, and it means a lot. So we're going to get to that point now where we're going to award the finalists that win. And I've got the commissioner with me. I've got Stuart Stedman, who is the vice chair of the coordinating board, and Annie Jones, who is our student representative at the coordinating board. So as we saw, we had eight wonderful candidates. And again, to the selection committee, I want to say thank you also. I've had the opportunity of doing that in the past. And let me tell you, it is hard. It is very, very difficult job. You are splitting hairs. And so to all of the people who are involved in that, thank you very much for doing so. What we're going to do is we're going to ask each winning team to come up. When we call your name, we'll have the certificate, and we will give you the award, and we'll take a picture with the group, and then we'll go to the next one. So we'll do 4 of those. So we'll have each team come up. So I think I have certificate number 1. See, we have a whole process here how this is going to work. So it's very detailed right here. There you go. This is for the first one will be the Gateway Course Innovation Initiative from the University of Houston downtown. Everybody come on up. I love more the merrier.
We're very supportive. We're very supportive.
Thank you for being here.
I got called in the system world. Stand with them, so we're doing double duty today.
We're a big family. Okay, is everybody with me?
Right.
Thank you, sir. You bet. Thank you. Thanks, both. Thank you. Great job. So 1 down and 3 to go. Stuart will hand me the next envelope. All right, here we go. I love this one. U of H and 4, the University of Houston. Come on back up here. It is wonderful. I love this program. Way to go, Paula. That was fantastic. Thank y'all. Great job. Nice to see you. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, so we're now going to our third award winner. Fold it over. I love this. 8-week terms, a pathway to 60/30, Odessa College. And just understand that the votes were in before the video was created, right? But the video was fantastic.
Good, good.
Okay, so we've got number 4, our last one. And so the last certificate. To the Accelerated Programmer Training, Austin Community College District.
Get her in the middle. Where's Richard? He's coming. Come on, Richard. You need to get in the middle. We're going to do
Yeah. Barbara Yuko out there. You were excited. Congratulations, Richard. Thank you.
I want to say congratulations to all the winners and all the finalists. Like I said, every program that you heard today, each one of them was absolutely incredible and special in their own right. And so thank you for everyone in the work that you're doing. And please know that the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, we truly, at the board, we appreciate all the hard work and what you're doing on behalf of students here in the state of Texas. And thanks for everyone for attending this ceremony. Like I said, this is a special ceremony. I always look at this and I think, you know what, this ought to be held at the convention center downtown. We ought to have 5,000 people there, because getting this message out is important, and having the citizens hear about what's going on at our institutions, I think it would be inspiring for so many more people to hear it. So that includes the Star Awards ceremony and our Texas Higher Education Leadership Conference. We want to thank you for being here. I hope, and I'll say this, and again, to Mary Smith, I want to give you some additional kudos. I've heard nothing but fantastic comments about the program and the amount of education we receive. So again, Mary Smith and all of the team of the coordinating board, great job. Thank you very, very much. We want to keep it going. We want to keep the dialogue going. We want to keep the innovation going and the creativity going. That's what higher education is all about. So we will look forward to seeing y'all in 2018, right back here. So everybody drive safely going home, and thank you for being here.